I thought you were about to open this thing up. You unmuted. Well, what up, y'all? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Appreciate everybody pulling up today. What's up, Sam? What's up, Mama? What's up, Marky? It's good to see y'all. My apologies in the beginning there. Was handling a phone call and it was a lot for a second. But we here. I'm excited to really go through this, man. We're doing 7, 8, and 9 today, right?
7, 8, 9, 10.
7, 8, 9, and 10. I'm gonna read chapter 10 real quick while I'm listening as well. Because I didn't do that. I only did 7, 8, 9. But with that, let's get it cracking. Would Marky, Sam, or Mary, would you guys like to open us up?
My mom's in the middle of cooking, so Sam, if you want to go.
Your mom's in the who?
She's in the middle of cooking. We've got a family gender reveal later today, and she's
Okay,
cooking
let's go.
spaghetti TTI.
Man, who's having a baby?
Pretty baby, my cousin Gloria.
Pretty?
Yeah.
Pretty's pregnant?
Yeah, literally just found out on Christmas. I thought I told you that.
You did not tell me that
There's
Pretty is pregnant. Oh, this
yeah,
is
bro.
crazy.
It went completely left field. I was like, hold on, what?
Whoa, gender reveal today?
Yeah, we're
Well,
gonna find
she's
out.
past 10 weeks. She's like 4 months pregnant.
Mm-hmm. Kind of wild.
Wow. Let's go, Pretty. Is this her first?
No, this
Oh, she got
it'll be
others?
her third. Yeah, it'll be her third.
Oh, okay. Let's go. That's lit.
Crazy.
Enjoy the vibes. Sam or Marky, then, would you like to kick us off while I read this last chapter? It's about time you start.
Already. What's good, family? Good to hear y'all's voices, see y'all pretty faces, and we are here on this
Who that
beautiful
man can?
Saturday, holding it down. I don't know. I told him, are we recording?
Huh?
Shout
Are we
out, Imani.
recording?
Yeah, we are, brother.
Okay.
You want me to pause
What's
it real quick?
good? No. No, I texted Cam.
And my boy. Now he's been low key dodging the book club a little bit.
Yeah, he doesn't have the book, but it's all good, bro. We are here reading chapter 7 through 10. Chapter 7 was just to dive in right into it, carrying where we left off from last week, from you know, having that mindset, having that resiliency, not being afraid, running steadfast towards our goals. The Rhino's attitude that went into the mindsets. Sorry, brother, man. Pause.
Sorry, y'all.
Um, it just reminds us, a Rhino doesn't let anything get its way. It charges through with confidence and doesn't let anything stop it, with that 2-inch thick skin. And you know, it touched on SMART goals. If you don't know what SMART goals, it's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. They said so. You have to have all 5 of those um, conditions for it to be a SMART goal, because we all have goals, but it's either if we're interested in our goals or if we're committed to our goals. The difference is if we're interested and we have a goal, we're only going to work on it, when it's convenient, when it's easy. But when we get tested, when things get hard, and we have to do it when we don't want to, when the feeling of motivation has disappeared, that's where our discipline comes in, and that's where our commitment gets tested. And I mean, without a target, a Rhino's charge is aimless. So we have to define our goals. We have to direct our energy. We have to be specific and head straight towards where we're going. And to continue it talks about our environment, how important our environment is around us, our supportive surroundings. It's one of the first things, TGF talks about you when you first get into this. It's design, is it if it's your workspace, if it's your home environment, just change it up. Just got to be out of that environment that we just are so comfortable in. It reminds you of the cows that are they're on the grass just grazing. They don't want anything to do with the jungle because they know they wouldn't survive, so they're going to stay exactly where they are. Out of some may fear it, some may not even know about the jungle. All they know is that pasture of grass that they've been grazing with the other set of cows for their whole life. So get into the other environment where it makes you grow, where you have to adapt, where you have to get uncomfortable, and you have to come out on the other side a better person than when you first came in. So environment can really launch you into where it is you want to go without staying comfortable, staying in the same space, in the same environment. You know, um, I wrote the rhino thrives in a habitat that supports its nature. It cultivates an environment conducive to your success. So find out where you're going to go, find out what's going to help you get there, what's going to support you, who's not going to support you. That's very much as important as, who's going to help you get there, is realizing that, yes, the the five people around me are the average. Let me make sure I'm the worst of the five. So the other four people in my group are pulling me up rather than being, the smartest person in the room or the best person of your friend group. And then realizing that everybody you're holding around is just keeping you down. So you have to not only change your environment, but change that includes, the relationships that we have, the people that we around. Because when we have five people that we keep close contact with, and when one of those drops, we end up replacing it without even realizing it, and we don't even take into account who we're replacing it with. We really just choose generally out of convenience. That's your friend's friend. All right, now they're my friend. Now I have my five people, not even realizing what effects these people are going to have, what these effects, these relationships that you're cultivating and you're choosing to let into your life and you're choosing to be a part of, are going to affect you. So remind yourself, am I associating with other rhinos, or am I chilling by the cows when I'm deciding to not run? When I'm deciding to not run, am I over here talking to the cows grazing because nobody's looking at me right now and I can get away with it? So we have to, chapter 10, I mean, it takes persistence, it takes resiliency, it takes unyielding determination to maintain focus on our goals and refusing to be discouraged by challenges, whatever they may be. It takes consistent effort, regularly taking action toward our objectives when our DMOs, understanding that persistence leads to breakthroughs. Understand that when a captain leaves his port for 98% of his journey, he does not know, he has not seen his destination, but he knows exactly where he's going. He knows how long it's going to take him, and he knows his crew is going to help him get there without wavering doubt that they will end up where they decided to leave. So, we have to understand that a quote is, a rhino doesn't stop at the first sign of trouble. It keeps charging until it reaches its destination. Nothing's going to stop that rhino. Nothing's going to stop you. Nothing's going to stop us from running towards these goals that we know we set out to make. And we know we're just going to keep, all we need to keep doing, y'all, is just, again, maintaining our attitude, keeping our environment conducive to those actions, stay persistent, and help other rhinos charge toward their personal and professional goals in life. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all being here on this Saturday, giving me this space. I always enjoyed this space. As leaders, we practice our voice, and this just gives us an opportunity to do that. So I love this. I love this. I love y'all, and I appreciate y'all. And as I close out, look who to pass it to. I will say, I am ready for the next chapter, right? Next, yeah, and to finish off this book. So let me see who's available. I see Marcus's face.
Yeah. I know Monty, congrats, girl, on the move. I know you moving and grooving out.
Oh yeah.
Get it. So good is
No, that all fell apart. It fell to shit. So
Oh
just
no.
give me a moment. I'll be on in a little bit.
okay, no worries, no worries. Well, I'm sorry, love. It's all good. It's all good. I guess Imani's getting together. My mama's literally in the middle of cooking, doing her thing, so I can just go. I appreciate you. Okay, it's all good. I'll take a little bit, Mom, so no rush. Boom. So chapter 7. I appreciate your intake, Sam. And I loved how chapter 7 started off talking about finances. because especially today, what I've seen a lot of the people that I've grown up with or that I've learned with and have gotten to understanding how to leverage the skill set with. Micah, hold on. No, 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 sir. That's not for you. Hmm. My apologies about the little delay, but it's okay. We're back on the track here. So what I was saying was I've seen a lot of people lose sight of the actual essential facts in order to really develop wealth. And I'm specifically talking about like financial freedom, right? Everyone tries to go after that concept. You see it even when people don't have the money, spend the money on things that make it seem like they're financially free or give them the feelings or the enjoyment or the emotions that come with having an abundance. It's something that we all desire to an extent, whether it's an abundance of love, of relationships, of energy. But overall, what I've understood is that money is actually important and people need to start talking about it like it is. So many people get uncomfortable talking about money, and it makes no sense because we all have to literally have it in order to have a day-to-day living. And our quality of life, although it is not dependent upon money, is highly affected by that money. So in the process, what he says is that without money, every other facet of your life is likely to suffer. Money is not the root of all evil. Love of money is. So I see a lot of people, especially when we come from lower socioeconomic backgrounds, really struggle with the idea of accepting and believing that they deserve an abundance of money because they're worried about being associated with like a negative connotation about, hey, I'm a bad person because I have a lot of abundance in my finances when it's not the case at all. What I've learned from my mentors and people that I've actually paid money to go and learn from is that money does not change you, it exposes you. Like an individual who has horrible spending habits, it don't matter how much money they get, whether it's $100 or whether it's $1,000, they're spending it on things that no longer have a money or a financial return. Whether that be on food, whether that be on clothing or things that don't necessarily have a financial asset return. Like most people are just taking the money and spending it. And AB says it best. He literally talks about how the problem isn't a spending problem, it's an earning problem. Like if you had more income, you'd be able to spend more. And that's how honestly Sky Alexander is explaining how if you make it a hobby, you'll have more income to do the things that you love to do. You'll have more time to spend with your family. You'll have more resources to go and learn something you've always wanted to learn. Go and actively spend the time doing the things that bring you joy and fulfill your passions that are aligned with that purpose. So I recommend that you understand. He says it best. He says, money is a tool. You use it properly and you can build a happy, satisfying life. You use it improperly and your life will be miserable. You don't use it at all and you will lose it. I think a lot of people try to hoard onto their income, not recognizing that the reason why it's called an economic cycle or why it's called currency is because it's always designed to be in flow. You're not supposed to hold on to it. It's meant to be spent, but you've got to utilize it in the right way. And that's where like actually understanding how to use your money and having the right perspective on money makes a lot of sense. I really loved on page 61 how he brought in tithing. I have been faithfully tithing to my God for since I was 19. And I remember watching a sermon that really changed my perspective on it because I never really understood why like churches would ask for money. And I didn't believe in like giving them my bread. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm barely struggling out here. But what I've recognized is that being followers of Christ, we're called to give. And we've got to recognize that our money is not ours. We're stewarding over it. The business that I'm running within TGF is not my business. It's actually God's business. I never really say it's my business. If anything, I'm saying it's our business. and that it's God's, because that's what I thoroughly believe. It wasn't meant for me. It was meant for me to steward it for others. So in that process, a great way that you can avoid the trap of making money your God and utilizing it as a tool is tithing, where you give 10%, your first 10% of every dollar you make back to God. I believe if you find an amazing organization that is faith driven and that has community and Kobe, go lay down. Hurry up. Sorry, y'all. I got discipline my kid bad sometimes. Oh, really, you better share his own bed, boy. Girl, you're smooth. You're good. Y'all good right there. Okay. But if you find some type of community or organization out there that allows you to actively put that money towards something that gives back, that provides services, goods, clothing, food to those that need it, like you're tithing. That's the Lord's work. So, whatever church that I've really believed in and grown up to like actually develop my relationship in, I've literally tithed my first 10%, no matter how difficult or how abundant I had it. If I had $10, I'm giving $1. If I have 100, I'm giving 10. If I got $1,000 paycheck and I go to church the next week, I'm giving 100, right? Because my first 10, I know like it's not my money. A lot of people are like, I want to do what I want to do with my money. That's cool, but it's not yours, right? In fact, whenever you spend it, it literally transfers, quote unquote, that ownership to a whole nother person. And if you ain't make it, how is it yours? I've never understood that concept. And when I was like awoken to this actual understanding, I was able to recognize how literally it is not my responsibility to understand what happens to the money after I give. It's important that I respond and I obey by giving. Period. He brought up in the book of Luke, chapter 6, verse 38, give and it shall be given unto you. Right? We just read the 7 spiritual laws of success. You will receive just as much as you give, if not more, because of the ways in which these spiritual principles, these biblical principles play out in our everyday life. And I highly recommend if y'all have never tithed, please make it a priority. You know what I'm saying? We have all been blessed beyond measure. We all live in the United States of America. And although things might be difficult, we have it so much more better than majority of people all over the planet. And we have an ability to operate freely without the fear of dying, right? It's kind of crazy. My stepdad was watching a show yesterday and he was telling me about the storyline. And these people in Qatar and Iran, like they can't even publicly freely say certain things without being shot in the head. Like we are so blessed and we have so much more than we actually count on a day-to-day basis sometimes. And I really think that if you fully grasp and understand, I wish he quoted it in scripture, but Jesus says, where you find a man's treasure, there too you'll find his heart. So allow your character to be exposed and put your money where your mouth is. If you really do believe in giving, like why are you not tithing? And if you don't fully understand tithing, why aren't you seeking to understand? Like whenever I wasn't tithing and I understood I needed to tithe, I went and understood and I sought counsel from spiritual mentors, but as well as in my own study on why it was even important. So my recommendation is if you don't even understand it, go and understand it. Go seek and you'll find. Allow yourself to recognize and be intentional about actively going and giving that first 10% to God. Because if you do, like you're guaranteed so much in earthly, not just in earthly rewards, but more so eternal rewards. So I loved how our guy Scott really touched on it an entire page on how even modern millionaires give away their fortunes, right? This is what King Solomon said. If you don't know who King Solomon is, he was the wealthiest man who ever stepped foot on this planet, and he was appointed by God. He says, honor the Lord with thy substance and with the first fruits of all thine increase. So shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses shall burst out with new wine. In other words, You give God your first 10%, and he'll give you way much more. Damn, I got excited. Yeah, period. But he'll give you so much more, y'all. So if you didn't get a chance to read over that section on 61, please reread it. I think it'll help you understand how to disconnect yourself from having these earthly like attachments and idolization to what money is and what money can do. Then you can start separating yourself and seeing how you can leverage it as a tool to develop wealth in your life, which is honestly something I've been doing over the past 3 years. And I'm extremely, extremely grateful. So after God, I pay myself. And this is something, so essentially when I'm paying myself, I'm paying my business. So before I even pay me, I'm paying God, I'm paying TGF, I'm paying myself, and then I'm taking care of bills. I know most people got bills at the top of the list, but I don't. I read a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he told me not to do that. Right. So I don't do that. I know it seems kind of wild, but that's why I move in a route where if you're giving only that first 10%, you're not giving more than you need to, right? If you've got $10, it's only $1 that you're giving away. That means you have the other $9 to work with. You got $1,000, you got the rest of the $900 to work with. And as far as I see it, if you're short that $100, watch God give you not only the 100, but like an abundance that you continue to need. So make sure that you pay yourself as well. Save at least 10% of all you make. I believe that's extremely intentional. I'm not really saving. I believe savers are losers. I'm investing. So I've got my assets in avenues that will yield a greater return long term versus over a short period of time. I thought it was really cool how he really broke down that it's your choice and why he decided to do it. And I just wanted to hit these points because I don't think some people might have fully read it or they would have run over it, right? He said tithing helped him keep a proper perspective on money. Giving is the most fun part of having money. He says that to keep someone good working for you, you have to pay that person well. Remember, you have to give to get. And then he was like, yo, I can't wait until my barns are filled with wheat and barley. The way I see it is I can't wait until our cups runneth over, right? Where we have so much overflow of blessings that we've got so much to give in so many different ways to so many people. And I really do believe it really starts with how you choose to look at money, how you choose to look at yourself, and how you allow your actions through how you use your income to meet up with the words that you tell others and yourself of where you want to go and what you truly want to be. I know I went in on finances and I covered that entire chapter.
You did.
I'm sorry, Mom. But I really, really thought it was extremely imperative to know exactly what it is that you have and where you're going. What up, Don? It's good to see your face, big dogs. Huh? Oh, you're talking to Mike up. Okay, so chapter 8, real quick. He goes, you are not going to charge out of bed in the morning if all you have to look forward to is work. To be truly successful and make money, you must do something you enjoy, something you are interested in, something that inspires you. Only you know what that is. When you find that and delve into it, money will come to you automatically. And that's why most of us, honestly, as we're stepping in alignment with that, sometimes struggle because we are literally doing things just to earn income rather than attract it. And the way that it reminded me of it as I was reading this, planning your escape, don't be like the living dead, Sam, that made me think of the actual how we're walking amongst zombies and then we start jogging, right? And then we're moving and grooving. But I think the biggest thing that I've learned is that by the law of compensation, you're going to get compensated based on the value you bring to whatever marketplace that you're in through the service you provide to that people. So if you're working a job right now, for example, I contract bartend. I get paid to bartend based on the value I provide through bartending for those that are seeking somebody to serve them alcoholic beverages, whether it be in a fast manner or in a higher fashion manner. Of course, this is something that a lot of people can bring to the table. Yes, it's valuable because not everybody knows how to actually make a drink, but that value only brings a certain amount of fulfillment to others, right? It's for that party, it's for that certain amount of time. That's why that income, depending on who I'm serving, is capped. In order to have that income be in alignment with what I truly enjoy doing, which is serving people and working with people and helping individuals, I really had to get in tune on like what inspires me and what do I enjoy the most. And honestly, in my recent 14 days, I've been able to take like a really big inventory on what matters most to me and why I do what I do and what it is I truly feel like God wants me to accomplish before I die. And I know that as you make your plans and then you execute your plans, like don't like enjoy what you do, like make it fun. And if it's not enjoyable, it's probably not for you. Right? And if you find that it's not enjoyable and it's not for you, be willing to understand what it is that you want and accept the ability to change for that. But last thing I'll touch on real quick is family. Is one line that stood out to me, and I'll let everyone else touch on the rest of the chapters. But one line that stood out to me is on page 71. He says, "Involve your family in your plans, make a fortune together." Y'all, you can ask anybody in my family how long and annoying I've been talking about the plans that I want to involve them in terms of generating and building wealth. From talking to my parents about doing a family meeting on a quarterly basis so that we can talk about, Mom, can you get that out of his hands? I think that's like spray. Sorry. But talking about life insurance plays, budgeting, talking about how to compound our money, what persistent, appreciate that, bro. It'd be annoying to people though, you know what I'm saying? It's all good. I gladly wear that title. But like actively never shying away from it, right? I saw that this is the last thing I'll say, right? Because he says, involve your family in your plans, make a fortune together. That involves communication. If you want to go and make $1 million, how do you ever expect to do that? If you want to go make an abundance and have multiple streams of income, how do you expect to do that? If you want to go and have an abundance where you have helped generate multiple six figures for those around you, how do you expect to do that if you're not even talking about it? Like, when is the last time you sat at a table or on a conversation or with somebody else or with a group of people and talked about how to go and genuinely plan to make $1 million? The fact is, when someone gets asked that question, the fact of the matter is they're probably not talking about it. They probably haven't for some time. And it's genuinely because we get so caught up in our day-to-day and then we try to go inward and solve it by ourselves that we exclude other people from the process. We exclude other individuals from the ability to help you. Sincerely, bro. Like I really feel like if you have the willingness to just talk about it with your family, first and foremost, despite what they might think, you're crazy. It hasn't worked for you thus far. It's a scam. You're trying to do a business. Why can't you just get a job? Like the whole nine things. And you continuously let them know, like, hey, this is why I'm doing it. Hey, I feel like we should implement this. Hey, I feel like in July we should sit down and have a family meeting the way the wealthiest people on the planet do and talk about finances and nothing more, how we're using it, what we're doing with it, how we're earning it, how we're leveraging it. But I feel like so many people get in this space that they are discouraged or that they feel like it's so impossible that they don't even bring it up. And then when they go after that idea or that mindset of wealth, they exclude their family and loved ones from it. And when they get so tunnel focused, they then have distractions from their family and loved ones because their family and loved ones have no idea what they're doing. So even though you're focused to them, it looks like you don't care. Even though that you are determined and you're carrying and executing your plan, your family looks like to them, it seems as though you're ignoring and you don't want to be a part of the things that you were always a part of. Right. And I know everybody has a different relationship with their family, but I know that there is at least two individuals in your life that you consider to be family. And if you are not having open communication about how to incorporate them in your plans, then they are going to feel like they do not know what's going on. So by all means, I highly recommend taking the time and the energy and the effort to go and plan. But when you know what you're doing and where you're going and why you're after it, like have the intention and talk to your people about it. And don't be afraid about it. Literally have the confidence in it. And then speak boldly. I don't think people do that enough. And I think if you have done it and you haven't done it for some time, it's because you've quit. And I'm not talking to anybody on this call. I'm just talking about like when I say you, it's like us. But if you or us decide to stop talking about it, when there is no vision, the people will perish. And you are going to pass along your generational curses, your problems, your challenges, and your perspective of lack to the next generation to take care of. And like for me, I literally would rather die than to pass it on to my kids. Like, and that's why I know I'm gonna win because I have nothing to lose and everything to gain. And it's really because, and I'm not talking about anything of this, bro. I could be rocking $6,000 or like a $600,000 penthouse and vibing out with a Maserati, doing my thing, and I'd still have nothing to lose and everything to gain because I recognize I don't care about what I can get on this planet. I really want my family to be secure for eternity. And I know we got to show God with what we have and how we move, why we deserve to be there. And excuse me, not why we deserve to be there, how we stewarded over our purpose while we were here. Because we accept Jesus, we're going to go regardless. That's given to us. We just, the way in which we're going to experience Jesus in the afterlife is going to be determined about how we do, what we do, and why we do it. So I'm going to shut up now. I'll let everybody cover the last couple chapters and anything that stood out to them in chapter 7. But please, y'all, tithe, give that 10%. Just do it like Nike. I believe in y'all. Much love. I'll pass this thing to Imani. She looks ready.
Hello, everyone. Great takes so far. Love them always. Mark, Marcus, I cannot wait till you become a dad. The way you were talking to those dogs, bro. I can see you're talking to dogs, right? Okay.
I was talking to my boy Kobe. Yeah.
Okay, because it sounded like you're talking to, like you said, your children. I was like, oh my God, Marcus is gonna be hilarious ass dad. It's gonna be. We'll see. We'll see when that happens. Watch, Marcus might gonna be funny. Okay.
I know you got my mom out here yelling, "I'm waiting, son. I'm waiting."
Hi, Mary. Um. Okay, so some things that stuck out to me. First chapter was the longest chapter, or the seventh chapter was the longest chapter, and yeah, it was him talking about like money, and y'all have touched on it. Money is not being the root of evil, but the love of money and the ways that you can avoid this. Not necessarily, I guess not avoid is not the right word, but the way you can break that habit of like loving money too much is by tithing. So that's awesome. He did say that other people don't tithe, which I mean, why not? Giving money like it's circulation, it's energy, and it wants to be given and it wants to be spent. So it's all like, yeah, it's like a kind of like a person, wanting like I love spending money. I love when money is given to me. Like even other things too. So it's like all energy, same thing. As for like the rest of the chapter, I mean, I definitely agree with you, Marcus, when you said about like talking to people that come from a lower income. It is really hard for them to break the habit of like money being the problem, because it's like if you think money is the problem, then when money comes and it's here to help, you're not going to accept the help the way you should for it to continue to flourish and come to you. So that's really powerful stuff. I think a lot of people, well, I don't think I know, a lot of people really need to accept that more and more so that going forward, again, when money comes, it's not going to be like you're not detesting it. It's more so, I love it in the most healthiest way. Um, okay, family. He says, and this is so crazy because this is the truest thing ever. Family can either make or break you when you are in that rhinoceros. You're a rhinoceros, you know. They're not everybody's family as is loving and kind um a lot of people like more you get, the more they ask. So it really depends on like I guess your personal goals with your family, and but you can also like use them. They can not use them. You can always work with them to grow your fortune, grow your spirit, grow your life, and you can also create your own family. I know for a long time I have a great family, but I just wasn't in a place where I could really talk to them very often. And I went away for college and I made a whole family with my friends. And then I realized that you can absolutely choose your family, choose who these goals are for, and enjoy it with them once you get it. Oh my gosh. And it's powerful too. A lot of things that I do for my family. Not everything. Majority of the stuff I do for myself or for the world, you know, just like keeping that energy going. But my family is very important to me, and they are some of the biggest reasons why I wake up every day, why I continue to keep that charge, that rhinoceros energy. Man, sometimes, okay, this is a side note, but sometimes like just let it go. Let it be. Let things sometimes it's a great way to continue charging ahead is rest and resetting. The whole move situation, it blew up in my face, but yeah, I had to let go of all the control that I had over the situation because I was forcing it. I wasn't allowing it to work in flow. And because of that, I started to experience burnout way too early. I'm like, okay, now I need to take a step back. So I did a reset. And now, like, hmm, sorry, got it. Never mind. But yeah, so I had to do a reset because I realized my nervous system was kind of breaking down and I started to have physical ailments coming out of that stress and anxiety and fear of things. So please rest, everybody. Please take time for yourselves and really can do things that make you happy, give you energy, bring you life, which kind of brings me into why did he say what he said? And he's like, listen, you can have you're supposed to have 2 inches of skin, not 2 inches of fat. I was like, dog, like don't call me out like that. Like don't do it. Like, how dare he? But I feel like you got to have a lot of energy, man. That's something that I've been doing a lot more working out because I have to. My brain cannot function without like more energy. I can't function without feeling strength and just being able to like, just burn that freaking whatever it is on just like burning calories, burning sweating, just like being really aggressive, and letting that all out in a very healthy way. And working out is so powerful for that. So I didn't like how he called all the big people out, but he was right. Like, everybody got to work out, everybody got to feel healthy, be good, because it's really good for your body and your mind and your soul. Absolutely. What the heck? What was the last chapter? What was 10 about? Hold on. Don't Healthy body. Yeah. Family.
You kind of hit on it already. It was physical. It was like
Yeah.
a, yep.
Oh, okay. That was the other thing that he said. He was talking about your work environment and how a rhinoceros don't work and cows work. But then I loved how he turned it around, not turned it around, but he really like gave that energy for the people who are rhinoceros who are working right now. Um, he said to be the best and show and charge ahead and like, move up in your company by being a rhinoceros, because you don't always have to, and not everybody is gonna, be making their millions on their own and work or not working, but you still have to, it's like you have to work. It depends on who you work. Are you working for yourself? Are you working for this company? Whatever it is, be a rhinoceros. And how he mentioned about when you're doing something right, when the cows are complaining, when the cows are telling you you're doing something wrong, or you could fail, like, okay, I know I'm going in the right direction, because they don't understand the vision. They're cows, they're burgers and steaks. My bad, y'all. I kind of zoned out right there. That's what I'm saying. I love that he really touched on the power of, like, to me, it's you're touching on the power of being you so authentically that you can trust yourself, your plan, your trust God, trust everything that you have, and really moving towards that without little cows, little sheep all around you, telling you things that they don't understand, because they don't understand the vision. So stay strong out here, people, in all ways, physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, as we've been learning from last year, even y'all before in book club, and coming into this year, the same. Stay blessed. No, no, no. Stay golden. There we go. Mary, are you ready? Okay. Was that a yes?
It's a yes. It's a
Okay.
yes. I love your energy, Money. You're so funny. Yeah, Mama's been moving and grooving this morning. I sound like Marcus. Anyhow, chapter 7, financial Marcus really kind of hit the nail on the bullseye here with, all the financial stuff because, literally, I mean, like, come on, he starts the chapter off with, how are you doing financially? Do you have enough money? And I was like, not doing good, and no, I don't. Just kind of answering his questions as as I was listening to the book. But um, I have a higher power that I rely on, and I have never in my entire life have ever operated on the faith that I have now. Um, and I've learned to just kind of leave it at the foot of the cross. Um, but at the same time, I know there's things that I have to do on my side to make sure things happen. So that's why I have decided to stay obedient, have decided to do things differently than the way I've been operating. Because, talking to somebody in their mid 40s, a lot of the times I used to say, "Oh, you can't teach an old dog new tricks," or stuff like that, because that's what I was taught. No, Micah, um, by my parents. My mom still tells me that, and I try to um, correct her, and she's so dang set in her ways. It's crazy. But in all honesty, if somebody tells y'all that, let them know that that's not true. That's not true at all, because there are things that you can change, um, and things that you can learn. Um, I was taught too, money is the root of all evil. But I've learned to realize that it's essential. It's essential for what we need. I mean, it brings happiness when I'm able to pay my rent, when I am able to pay my electric. I get a cutoff notice. I'm able to pay that. You know what I mean? And it depends, like he said, as long as you don't allow it to be a god, and you allow it to become like a hobby, um, and not your master, because it's definitely not my master. I have my master, and I know who I lean on, for that. Um, but like Marcus touched on, the 10% of tithing. I was not a tither until just recently, and my son being 19 when he started, different scenarios because my husband was not about giving money to the church. He was so against it. But as I went further into my faith, I was like, I need to stand firm. And now he makes sure that we have money for tithing. So that's God's work. Um, and it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Because I thought too, oh my gosh, I only have this much. I'm not going to be able to pay this bill. God, if I don't pay this, but that's what we're learning. That's what we have to learn, is to rely and lean on him. And he will definitely bring time 10 times more than what you just gave him. And I've learned to learn that as I went through. Touches up on Luke 6:3, given it shall be given to you. Um, and that's definitely helped me continue my tithing. So, um, like I said, Marcus kind of touched up really good on a financial. Onto chapter 8, your work. It says if you're struggling financially, you probably are struggling in your work, because I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. I still have that in there, and I need to bring it up on top with the cheese. I'm not quite done. That's why I haven't called you. Sorry about that, guys. Um, and it says if you enjoy what you do every day, or it says to enjoy what you do every day, um, or it will just be work. Um, I work for a collection company, who does collections for hospitals in the rural cities. And when I'm calling insurance companies on the $1,000 bills that got denied, I think to myself, I'm collecting this for somebody else. I only get a piece of it, and not even the amount of work that I put into that I get. And I have a problem with that. I love what I do because I'm an investigator. Don't try no sneaky stuff on me, because I find out. I will find out. And I bring them money. I'm good at my job. I know I'm good at my job. I love what I do, but it would be something that, I've thought about it. Maybe if I could have a company of my own to do that. And I love the company that I work with because the owners are very faith driven. He is a man of God, and he he bases his company on his faith. And he said too, he's had this thought when he first wanted to start this business, and he had doubts and fears and all this type of stuff. But he finally listened and he did it. And he's no, Micah, get away from there. Sorry, guys. Maybe get him over there. Um, and he's very successful. He's got a very successful business. And I'd like to think that I've helped him become very successful, um, with any job that I've had. My work ethic is good, and I've always been taught that. From my mom to my dad to my grandma to my grandpa, and that's what I've tried to teach my children. But now that I've learned different things about working for other people and being able and having the ability to work for yourself, it just, I'm trying to bring it in a different site. You know what I mean? So instead of having just a regular clock in 9 to 5, it's funny because Marcus, everybody's like, "Are you working today, Marcus?" He's like, "I work every day, but am I clocking in? No, I'm not clocking in today." Uh, that's what I want to be able to say. You know what I mean? I want to get to the point where I don't have to, and I'm the one sending out the emails to do this and to do that. Report to me once you're done. Da 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 da. You know what I mean? And it will happen. I'm not too old for that. But on to chapter 9, which is family. Uh, it's funny because it says, Marcus touched on this again. They can make you or break you. Um, how we do in your family affects the financial and your work environment, and vice versa. Um, all these 6 areas that we're learning about, um, it affects some way or another to an extent, but it's important to keep them at a balance. You know what I mean? Um, it talks about marriage in this chapter. We are working, God's working in my marriage big time. And it's for the better, it's for the good. It makes me want to cry just thinking about it. But you have to make sure that you talk to your families. And it's funny because, like, our family, we are so about communication, especially if something is um, doesn't sit right with us, and that to a lot of people is weird. It's invasive, Marcus said, because they don't like to deal with that. They like to just brush it under the rug. And I'm like, we can't do that. We have to figure this out, see each other's point, and let's be on the same level. It's okay to have different points of views. It definitely is. Um, but we have to start changing and learning how to conversate about things. Um, and it's a super easy aspect, a super easy thing to do, but very hard to really wrap their heads around it. Um, it's This is what we should be doing as normalizing, but people think it's weird, and that's weird to me that people think it's weird. Um, but anyhow, um, chapter 10, physical. It's funny. It's funny, Monty, because when he was talking about what you had mentioned, I'm over here waving. And I'm like, look at these bat waves, but I'm trying. I'm not trying. I am in the process of changing my physical form. I am doing push-ups. I am going to the gym 3 times a week, and these old osteoarthritis knees definitely give me issues. But I am I'm an ox the way my mom is an ox, and I'm not. I don't give up. I'm. I've got to set a good example. Have to. Otherwise, it's do as I say, not as I do type shit, and I don't run like that anymore. So, um, thank you guys for hearing me. Love y'all.
Boom. Mom ate on that, as Anna said.
She ate down 10 toes
She
down.
ate 10 toes down. But yeah. Anyways, Don, if you have been reading, bro, we've been covering chapters 7 through 10. If you have not, you can say anything that stood out to you. Other than that, you don't feel comfortable, Mikhail, you got the floor.
Yes, I have. I know I checked out and I was like, I'm gonna hop on. Um, I've been work or whatever, busy. But what's up, y'all? Happy Saturday. I going going over these chapters, hearing what y'all said. I'm not gonna touch too much on 7 and 8 because I heard a lot of y'all. But 9 and 10, it's been pretty good since I've been honestly just been working on myself and um, dialing in um, Bible work and reading this and everything. Just having gratitude. Um, I've definitely noticed. Well, first off, some of y'all know, some of y'all don't, but I got a girlfriend, and um, she got 3 kids. She's older, but it's been lit. Like she's definitely, I definitely see like how like that family aspect pushes you to do and be better. Um, Especially just because like I know like I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but like knowing I gotta step into and become better and do better. Um, and she's also just helped me and pushed me to grow with my family. Some of y'all know, some of y'all don't, but like I've definitely had some ups and downs with my immediate family, whether it's my grandparents, my pops, and just a whole bunch of stuff that like a lot of resentment and grudges held, and so um, just from things that have happened over the past, and in that she's definitely helped me realize and to do and be better in that aspect with them, and just push me to create the bond regardless of all that. Um, and then in that, um, oh, like I said, it's different for sure. I see the growth that I've had, and then to chapter 10, I'm just being in the gym again. It's like where I find a lot of peace and feel good when I'm in the gym and just locked in, focused, and you know, what is the word I'm looking for? Um, taking ca- taking care of the temple that God's blessed us with, and keeping it healthy, keeping it strong, and feeding it. So doing that, and um, I'm actually starting this coming week, about to really push myself to wake up at 5:30, and go to the gym before work because I've found it difficult um, after work. Just doing the things, getting dinner, cleaning, going to church, whatever is going on after work. Like just finding myself going to the gym late or just being tired at that point and not wanting to go. And so in that, um, just looking to push myself because as I came across what he was talking about, I was like, bro, man's in Alaska outside working out 5 a.m. So like if he could do it, I could do it. So definitely gonna push myself on that. But yeah, what's up? I don't know who hasn't gone. I think everybody is gone. Maybe. Mikhail, I don't think I heard you.
What up, though? Can you guys hear me okay in here, or do I need to put AirPod in?
Loud and clear, brother.
What's up, my family? What's happening? So I definitely, it's like mascara or something. Um, so I definitely have been in and out because we've been trying to get the kids ready. Brooklyn's got like a play date today. But from what I heard, shout out Imani, shout out Mama Mary, shout out Don, shout out Sam, shout out Marcus. Y'all been snapping today. It's dope. I'm loving this book, honestly, because it literally, like, we've been reading all year, y'all. And this book, like all these books, damn near say the same thing. If y'all ain't noticed, you know what I'm saying? It's like we're literally catching parts that are literally from all of the other success principles. And that's what I'm really coming to find out. It's actually simple. Thanks to yourself. I don't want everybody to be distracted.
Say sorry
Make
now.
sure my voice is so cool. You guys can hear me, right?
Should we go back
Cool.
home?
Yeah, you're still
But
coming through.
Say sorry.
with that, actually, it's funny when Donnie was like, first two chapters got touched on heavy, and the last two chapters had, and I was gonna do the same thing, bro. I like that. But in that, I love all four though. Like when he was talking about money, when he was talking about tithing, when he truly was talking about like, hey, like don't fall in love with money, but get out and chase it and make it your hobby to go and make it every single day, like to the point where you're getting up excited to get out here and go make bread. But then in that same, then it goes into work where he's like, hey,
Stop.
like don't think of work as work. Go find something that you absolutely love. But even if you are working, like bring your personality into your work and actually like show up 100%. Because in the workplace, we all know, like when he was talking about the government people, like living like the undead or whatever he had said in the book, I was like, yo, that's actually so fast. Because every time I walk in and I'm going to renew a license or I'm going to fill out a piece of paper, or like when I went and got Brooklyn's birth certificate a few weeks ago, hashtag I'm late. I know it's all good. I know she's four. But when I went and got the birth certificate a few weeks ago, in that I was talking to the guy and I was like, hey, bro, like I know it's the end of your day, but like, aren't you excited to get off of work? You know what I'm saying? Like, tell your face, my guy. How you doing? You know what I'm saying? What's popping? And he was like, dude, thanks, man. I feel like I was just actually just waking up. And I was like, well, it's the end of the day. I don't think you should be waking up. I know it's a boring job, but if you get interested in people, it won't be as boring. And then we start talking about everything that I got going on. You know what I'm saying? And so in that, it's like when you show up, it throws people off. Like when I ever ask somebody I'm in line or something and I'm like, hey, how you doing today? And people are like just kind of milling around their work and they're thinking I'm talking to somebody else. So I'm like, no, bro, I'm talking to you. Like, how are you today? Not just like an automated response, but like, how are you actually doing? If you actually care about people, it causes people to show up for you as well. And then in that, I always talk about like deposits and withdrawals. It's been like a theme of my last week. But even when it comes to think of people, just like you tithe and give that 10% to God, how about you tithe and give an extra 10% to people when you show up in your workplace, when you show up in your physicality, when you show up actually with your family, give that extra 10% like you're tithing to them too, because they're your partners in this process too, just like God is. And like when you actually show up extra for people, it does something. And I know that it's helped me curate a lot of relationships. But one thing that I wanted to dive in on was the family chapter because that was phenomenal. I loved it. When he talked about just being present in your life and actually taking time to actually care about people. I love what Marcus brought up. Like, bro, when people don't know what you got going on and you so insanely focused, to them it just seems like you don't care about what they got going on. So like if you don't literally communicate what's actually happening in your life and where your priorities are and where your focuses are, you are going to run into friction. And this is why whenever we start a 90-day run, one of the first things in the 90-day run is like have those necessary conversations with the people that are in your life that you are going to go and focus. And these are the commitments that you are making and you are keeping. Therefore, everything can be understood. And so in that, I love that because ultimately on the back end of that, you've still got to nurture those relationships. And that's been one thing that in my life, I truly have been blessed with. But in that, I've just been intentional about really for like the last, like, I mean, my whole life really, but like very intentionally since about 2018 is when I kind of learned the lesson of like, let me take my freaking head out of the grindstone and look around and make sure that I'm taking care of my people around me too. Because he spoke about marriage in there. And it's like, if you take a week off of your marriage, that's months of work that you actually have to put in to repair everything. And those were bars for me because truth be told, me and Tia have definitely been very intentional on making sure that even when the weeds start growing and shit starts to get uncomfortable, we literally will have conversations like, yo, it hasn't been great the last week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, month, or whatever it's been. And we've kind of been getting into it a lot, or we've been at each other's throats. Let's really sit down and talk about this and actually get to the bottom of it. And when you have those conversations with family, like the hard conversations, it helps you out in the long run. And ultimately, like I had a party at my house last Saturday, and it was just cool to look around and peep. Like, yes, I had some squad in the crib. You know, Jules was there, Cam was there, new member Nick was there, Marcus was there. So there were five of us total from TGF standing in my house. But I had about 25, 30 people in there, and just about two of them were actual family members. maybe three. I think Harmony was there. She wasn't. So two of them were actual family members. Everybody else was people that had been in my organizations prior to and any of the other companies I've been in, or friends that I've met along the way and just stayed connected with throughout the years, family, friends, you name it. But in that, like, nobody shows up for you if you don't show up for people. Like, if you don't take intentional time to get off the grind and go actually sit down with your people and be present and not be thinking about work, not be thinking about the brand, not be thinking about the business, not be thinking about the run, not be thinking about your trades, and just literally get intentional, you'd be surprised at one, how much people have missed you, and two, how much value you can bring to others' lives because you've been doing so much work. Like last night, to be able to sit down with my cousin Melissa, like, bro, me and Melissa have always chopped it up. You know, I give her little hugs and everything, but like, we've never been super close. And for her to sit down and ask me advice on her business model yesterday, and we actually start taking steps together, that literally only happened because I took some time to not dash last night and go take my butt in there with my family and just go chill because we had a family member in town. And then from there, I'm able to actually pour into my cousin's life, which is going to do wonders for her as well going forward. And I can tell she got excited about it. And it's a passion and a life that I've never seen come out of Melissa before, ever. And so it's just dope to be able to have moments like that. And they go the long way because in this life, literally, when you're on your deathbed, you're not thinking about the trades, you're not thinking about the business, you're not thinking about the run, you're not thinking about the rank. You're thinking about your people and what type of memories you're going to leave behind and what things you didn't do. So in that, like, be intentional in that area for real. And then the physical work, I'm getting there. I'm almost back to the gym. You know what I'm saying? We're about to start these workouts next. Literally, I called my older brother last week on my birthday and was like, bro, I want to make some changes this year. And you're one of the buffest mofos that I know. So, bro, let me get in the gym with you for real, for real. So we have established a schedule coming out of the cruise that we just booked. So we have a cruise in 2 weeks, or excuse me, 2.5 weeks on the 14th of February. And then following that cruise, are we in the game? But until that cruise, me and T are actually fasting and just getting intentional about our eating habits as well, and about how we just really try to eat healthier inside of our house. Do you know where I'm going or where it is? Okay. So yeah, man, it's like with all of these chapters, with money, with your physical body, with family, with I'm missing one, work, all of those things. If y'all didn't know, he's literally forming you in the book. That's what's super lit. For all of my networkers on this call, y'all know the form rule: family, occupation, recreation, money, or message. He's literally forming us as we're reading. And it's honestly amazing because in that, just like Mama Mary said, you start to answer these questions in your own head while you're reading the book. And while you do that, it makes you aware and intentional about building up things going forward. You're curating new neural pathways in your brain as you're answering these questions to absolutely understand where you need to go going forward in the direction. So I honestly have loved this book. I freaking love this book club. Y'all already know I'm super grateful for y'all and everything that we do because truly this part goes so far. And I know ultimately it's sometimes hard to even see it in our lives because we be zoomed in. But when you zoom out and you understand the type of growth that you've had in the last 365 of being a part of this book club, the last 6 months of being a part of this book club, the last 3 years of being a part of this book club, because we got people from all three of those spaces. It's honestly crazy because I look at y'all and like, I really be listening and just watching y'all speak on this call. And I'm like, dude, it's just crazy to remember how everybody got started and what they were going through and where their mindset was at and how they mentally dealt with things and the actual process that personal development brings people through. This shit is real and it works. Truly, it really does. It changes lives. And I've watched all y'all lives be changed. For real, for real. Even Imani, the way that she just was like, yeah, it fell through, but we good, y'all. I'm gonna hop on this book club dog in 1 second. Like, bro, I know that there's a time where she would have actually freaked out and not been on the book club and been sitting there kind of sulking throughout the day, figuring it out. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get life together. So ultimately, bro, from the woman that I met at Unlimited last year to this year, now that it's officially been over a year, it's dope, man. Congratulations on all your growth, Imani, for real. It's not something to take lightly at all. You show up for yourself each and every single week. All of y'all do. Literally. Donnie, congrats on the girlfriend too, big dog. You know what I'm saying? All these little D. That man out here. But truly, y'all, everybody is literally changing their life. They're elevating their mindset. They're elevating their results. They're going after what they want. And that right there is called success. It's a progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And so in that, you guys are definitely progressing. You guys are definitely realizing we all are. And I just wanted to say real quick as we close this thing out, I'm proud of everybody and I love y'all. But Marcus, I'm passing to you, brother. You can close us out.
I appreciate everyone's participation and discussion on the book. Next week we're gonna wrap this thing up. I'm excited, especially because we'll be finishing out the month of January. I feel like we are like literally, I think at the beginning of the year, I don't know who said, I think it was Imani, but I completely agree too that like there's just like this energy of big time shift in the air. So I feel like we really on the peak in the emergence of a big time change, on top of just being in alignment. Fun fact, just because my guy Sam has kept me in the loop with this stuff. But literally, y'all, today is the day where all the planets are going to be aligned and in a way that hasn't been done before in I think like hundreds of years, and is not going to happen again for thousands of years. So, one, y'all move with intention today and understand that what you speak out there, and how you move is going to be reciprocated for the year to come, and just be in alignment with honestly why you're doing what you're doing and what it is that you feel like you're called to actually accomplish before you're gone, and in the process, keep charging on. Like I said, we'll be finishing up this book next week. Make sure you read chapter, I believe it's 11 through 15, just to wrap this thing up with a bow tie. In the meantime, let me tell you guys what the next book is going to be so that y'all have the information on this call. And then I'll make sure I post it in the book club like I always do. But boom, the next book that we're going to be diving into after this one is, drum roll. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay. It's The Power of Positive Thinking. This one is definitely one of them ones. I have read this book one time. It's a thick read, but it honestly is one of the more impactful ones that I've gotten to experience over the last 3 years of my personal development journey. And it really hits different, y'all, because everything really comes down into perspective. So The Power of Positive Thinking, that's by I believe it's Vincent Norman Peale. I will throw the information in there and align the chapters as they come. But just so that you guys know, it's a very, very popular book. You can find it almost at any bookstore if you guys like going and chopping it up with people, stepping
I
into it.
believe it's in the digital library as well,
It
if I'm
is
not
in the digital
mistaken.
library as well. I'll go find where that's at. I know it definitely is because I've seen it in there.
Who'd you say it was
Hey,
by?
I'm
Vincent
pretty sure
Normal.
it's Vincent Norman Peale.
Hey, we should
Vincent,
low key, if we don't have it as Richest Man in Babylon, like he's talked about in the book, if we don't have that in the Roto for this year, we should low key throw that in the Roto this year too.
Tonight. That's
it's
such
in the
So,
road.
like a red
oh, we
lily.
wait. Okay, let's go.
Almost there. Are you excited?
Boom. But yeah, power positive thinking does something crazy. And honestly, it's just gonna help you have, because I know a lot of you guys have been working on yourself and understand how impactful it is. He just really gives it in a very clear manner that honestly has changed the game for me in my life. So I'm excited for you guys to read it.
9:47.
We'll chop it up
He's
next
probably
week.
drunk.
Much love, family, and God bless. I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.